You realize that the moment you start scaling your ads, you will reach colder and colder audiences, right? Their intent will drop, their pain will feel less urgent, and everything gets harder. So right now, if you even have a sliver of doubt about your current call quality and the intent of your prospects, you're about to fuck yourself when you start scaling your ads. I first saw this when I was working as an appointment setter for an agency back in the day. They started increasing ad spends, but because their systems on the back end were cooked, fewer and fewer prospects started to convert because of those colder and colder audiences. Fewer people showed up to their calls, fewer people closed, and the margins were getting slimmer and slimmer. Let me explain why this happens and how you can prevent this and instead scale your ads with good margins and without fucking your conversions. You are obviously generating good revenue because otherwise you wouldn't be looking at scaling your ads. You always want better leads, but it's not that big of an issue at this point in time. But if you don't have any systems on the back end that control the intent of the prospect, that control the trust of the prospect, and that gives them enough information to be ready to buy as soon as they jump on the call, this will become an issue. Because the colder the audience, the more information they need, the more trust they need, and the more clarity they need. And if you don't have systems that do this before the call, you will notice that your salespeople slowly turn into educators. Every call will start at zero, and your sales team will need to wrestle with those people to get some money out of them. Every prospect will show up to the call with loads of objections and will need crazy amounts of information to even considering buying your services. You have heard people talk about plateaus when scaling their ads. And this is exactly one of the reasons that people plateau. What you want instead is have systems on the back end that control this process, that make sure that when you scale your ads, the call quality stays the same. The intent of the prospects is taken care of before the call. Because without this control, especially with colder audiences, every prospect will behave like a frozen cold lead. So it's not about having cold leads or having warm leads. It's about taking responsibility. Start thinking about ways to take those cold leads and turn them warm before the call starts. Because when you scale your ads, the audiences will get colder. You can't do anything about that, but you can control your processes on the back end. And this is a problem that will only appear at scale. Because when you start with a small budget of ad spend, you target a warm audience. It's like those people already have intent built in. They are looking for your service. Quality of your calls might fluctuate a little bit, but you don't need a lot of systems that inform the prospects, build interest. It will help, but it's not really needed at that point. But I hope that you now start to realize that this does become a problem with colder audiences. Think about it like trying to heat a room. It's like you have a small room at the start with a decent heater. The heater is not efficient, but it's enough to warm the room. That's the same with your ads, your funnel on a low ad spend budget. But now, you decide to knock down the walls and triple the size of the space. But you never upgrade the heater. That's what happens when you scale your ads without proper back-end systems. But everyone in the room is shivering because the heat is too diluted. That's exactly what happens with your ads if you hit colder audiences without taking control of the back-end process. So now you can start thinking of ways to increase trust, increase intent, increase clarity before the call starts. You want to have systems in place that take this prospect who just booked a call and progressively warms them, so that by the point that the closer speaks to them, they are warmed, they are informed, they have trust, and they have a ready to buy mindset. That means that you should start looking into your confirmation page, for example, into the email sequences that you send before the call, or think about what your setters are doing and how you can leverage them in a different way that informs the prospects and gives the prospect trust. And if those systems are optimized, it doesn't matter if the prospect that just booked the call is warm or cold, because you are in control. you will make sure that whether the prospect is cold or warm, they will be warm at the point of the call. That's how you scale your ads without dipping your conversion rates. So if you are not that sure about your backend systems, or you want someone to take a look and maybe identify some gaps, feel free to book a call with the link in the description. And I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you soon.